Bam. All right, bring this up. So, hey, what's up? So, um, I was in here dying laughing, man. I had to send this to TK. And so, this verse in the Quran that said, "Those who reject our signs are deaf and dumb," right? And I was like, "Yo, wait a minute, hold on, oh man, you can't call me a handicap, a person who have a what we call a disability because I reject your signs, right?" So I'm cracking up because I know this is something black folks do. You know what I'm saying? I really don't get that vibe from white people. They come with they sign in Revelation. You believe in it or you don't, you're gonna go to hell. But the Quran is like, yo, you don't believe in this? Yo, you deaf and dumb. You deaf and stupid. Right? What you saying? Right? Like, why are you attacking my mental capabilities, man, and liking me to a handicapped person? In today's time, you would get canceled for this. You know what I'm saying? And so I found it hilarious because I was like, oh snap, I done found Minister Jew in the Quran, right? See, I don't know Jew. You want to get Jew out of his bag, call him stupid. Oh, you want to get Jew out of his bag? Call him stupid and watch what happens. That's what had me in tears, is because I know how much he value intelligence and whatnot, and that's his favorite word too. He be like something don't make sense. He be like, you stupid. You know what I'm saying? So I was cracking up in here, man. Because again, the Quran to me reads like a black parent, straight up. You know what I mean? But let's get this party started, man. Shout out to Jennifer who sent me this, asked me have I read this book. I was like, no, but this title looks very interesting. You can't talk about science and cosmos and souls like that's my thing. And so within this book, he makes a distinction between transmitted knowledge and intellectual knowledge. And that's funny because in our Sunday class, this is something that we absolutely are studying. We just went over this in a different whole nother. We actually went through this from a rabbi. See, but once again, this is these two systems overlap each other in the golden age. So transmitted knowledge is knowledge passed down through generations, primarily through revelation, the Quran and Hadith, the teaching of scholars. It is often associated with the exoteric or outer aspects of religion, such as law and ritual. Okay. Intellectual knowledge, on the other hand, is more direct, experiential, and intuitive form of knowledge. It is acquired through personal striving, contemplation, and spiritual insight. It is often associated with the esoteric or inner dimensions of religion, such as mystical understanding and direct knowledge of God. And he makes a very good point here because he says that, the transmitted knowledge, we parrot that, and that's fine in the beginning because that's how children learn language. That's how we learn. That's how we learn things. You know what I'm saying? Even when I watched myself learn Arabic, I didn't get the English first and then went Arabic, nor did I try to understand what I was saying in Arabic and English before I committed the whole thing to Arabic. So I went like Arabic and then understood it. But it depends what verse. I'll take that back. The Fatiha, the opening 7 verses, I knew that in English. And then I went Arabic, right? The bigger verse, the Idol Kursi, I did straight Arabic and then went back and put it together in English. So, but my point is, parroting information is okay to a certain point, and then the two is going to merge, but then the intellectual aspect must take over. So this transmitted knowledge doesn't give you a deeper understanding. Oftentimes it may not give you an understanding, because if you ask, which he gives an example of, 2 plus 2 is 4, then you can't say 2 plus 2 is 4 because my mom said so. That's not how that works. You understand what I'm saying? You have to know why it equals 4. And to end up knowing that knowing now gives you intellectual knowledge, that now gives you understanding, because you know that 2 to 2 will give you a total of 4. If not, then boom. And especially when you're dealing with money, if you don't understand it, then most certainly you could be lost. Not that you can't win, but you will just be lost in the whole concept and not knowing what's going on because you don't have no understanding. So you wouldn't know why you made XYZ. You understand what I'm saying? So he makes a clear distinction between these two type of knowledges. And even going back and reflecting on myself, you know what I mean, in this journey, there's times again where we're gonna parrot information. You know what I mean? Even in my concept of being in America was shaped based off of the black experience, right? The black tradition. I'll even say that because I didn't go through Rosa Parks and all that. I'm in the 70s. You know what I'm saying? I ain't in that time and whatnot. But yet that became to a degree self-inflicted upon me because I identified with the black struggle and black culture in a sense, right? But then you can parrot information that could really be just false information. And I always tell you, the whole 3/5 thing, that's not what that constitution says and whatnot. And so you can be wrong. So the point is like really being mindful of how to use intellectual reasoning to get to the divine truth and whatnot. So that's something that's talked about in this particular book. I think I'm actually going to drop this in the collections tab. We got a collections tab called Islamic Mysticism in the Patreon. So I think I'm going to drop it there. It's a PDF and you can just do what you do with it and whatnot. All right. So knowledge is a very important piece, right? Very important. In the Quran, they talk about, let me blow this up, using your wisdom, your intellect, understanding, reason. This is mentioned 49 times in the Quran. 49 times. Which is very interesting because I know that the verse, which means sign in Arabic, they say like verse 49, the word for verse is ayat, but ayat is also means sign, like a symbol for something. I know when they talked about Sirius and the laws of the Lord of Sirius, that happened in verse 49. But anyway, this word is used 49 times. So quite often it's used. The word for knowledge, know, is used 854 times as the root word. To see it within just straight knowledge, it's mentioned over where is it at? It's over like 163 times. I'm sorry, 105 times as the noun which is just straight knowledge. You want to just tell you knowledge, not they know, but just knowledge, you know what I mean, is used 105 times, actually 106 because it's used somewhere else outside of it being in a noun. But that root word literally is used 854 times, which tells me that it's something about knowledge and that we should know. And here's another thing about knowledge, which I find very, very unique is, man, I ain't put that in here. I'm gonna have to show you. I'll show you in the end what's this knowledge about. So remind me I'll show y'all in the end. All right. So let's get into some things real quick. And let me bring this back up for me. All right. So the earth is full of signs for those who are certain, and within yourselves can you see? In the heaven is your provision and everything that's promised to you. So I got a text yesterday from my little young guy at the masjid, want me to come to a lecture next week. And I said, oh yeah, bet, I'm there. It's supposed to be a Q&A, and I'm going to ask him about this right here, right? Because we need to have a conversation about this. What do you mean everything is promised to me? It's in the heavens. I really want to get their interpretation of this really, really, really bad. Okay. But it would have to be this scripture coming up next as the answer, which is indeed the creation of the heavens and earth and the alternation of night and day are signs for those of understanding. Those who remember Allah while standing, sitting, or lying on their sides and reflect on the creation of the heavens and earth. Right? So that means you can't give me an answer outside of not reflecting on the heavens and earth, because indeed this is like this whole heaven and earth and the rotations of and the alternation of the night and day. These are signs for understanding. So it's telling us that we need to reflect on this. So I want to get to some reflection. So yeah, it's about to get real interesting in this mosque. I ain't gonna let my African brothers not get into the science. You're gonna have to kick me out of here. You know what I mean? Respectfully. All right. So anyway, he gives wisdom to whom he wills, and whoever has been given wisdom has certainly been given much good, but none will remember except those of understanding. Damn, this is strong. And so the whole thing here is wisdom, understanding, knowledge, reflection. Just going to show a few verses that how the Quran prompts us to really study. Okay. Say, are those who know equal to those who do not know? Only those who possess intellect will take heed. So now you you got to have intellect to take the heed, right? And the two are not even, as far as people who know and who don't know. I should have put another verse in here where the Quran says, I raise people up amongst you in degrees so that you may be tested. All right. So here's another surah that says, this is a blessed book which we have revealed to you, O Muhammad, that they might reflect upon its verses, and that those of understanding would be reminded. Those of understanding would be reminded. Okay. So here's one that says, and this is the path of your Lord, leading straight. We have detailed the verses for a people who remember, or we would say reflect. So again, it's like you got to have a certain knowledge to even go on the path. And that's very interesting. It's very interesting because now the revelation per se, whether it's the prophet giving it to you or going straight to him, it's all about you already have a certain knowledge. It's something that you already know. All right. So indeed, in their stories, there is a lesson for those of understanding. It's not a fabricated narration, but a confirmation of what was before it and a detailed explanation of all things, a guidance and mercy for people who believe. Okay. So again, just putting in, can't make it no plain in this. There is a lesson for those of understanding. Man, that requires you to think. What do you mean a lesson? See, if it wasn't, if you didn't have to think, there's no need to basically emphasize those of understanding. Why are you making a distinction between somebody who have knowledge, wisdom, understanding, reflection versus those who do not? If it's just a mandate, if it's just a simple mandate, there's nothing to reflect on. Yes, sir, God. Thank you, sir. You gave it to us. What are we reflecting on? What is there to understand? So it must be something we need to think about. Okay. Then have they not reflected upon the word of Allah, or has there come to them that which had not come to their forefathers? Okay. Again, just a reflection. And we have certainly made the Quran easy for remembrance. So, is there anyone who will remember? Now, I'm going to tell you something. If you're really paying attention, this ain't talking. What do you mean, remember? How can I remember? And this is my first time getting this. What are you talking about? Where are you getting at? Again, the same book that's going to talk about the resurrection. And I'm going to show you what knowledge means. And he has subjected for you the night and the day, the sun and the moon, and the stars are subjected by his command. Indeed, in that are signs for people who reason. Indeed, in the creation of the heavens and earth, and the alternations of night and day, the great ships which sail through the sea, with that which benefits people, what Allah has sent down from the heavens of rain, are signs for people who use reason. It's all, do you notice every time they're challenging our reason, our logic, it's oftentimes it's associated with the process of the heavens. You notice that? And we have certainly brought them a book which we detail by knowledge, a guidance and mercy for people who believe. Okay. And these examples we present to the people, but none will understand them except those of knowledge. That might be my last one because I was like, man, hold on. What were you talking about? And these examples we present to the people, but none will understand them except those of knowledge. What? See, once again, you're coming with something that's not necessarily to be perceived as a straight literal mandate. You clearly said right here that we need to have knowledge in order to understand what is presented. So the book didn't come and say, here, this is the book of knowledge solely and follow this. It's saying, nah, this is an example, but you ain't going to understand it unless you already got knowledge. But those with solid knowledge among them and those with true faith believe in what has been revealed to you, O prophet, and what has revealed before you, especially those who establish prayer and those who pay the alms, the tax, and believe in Allah on the last day. To those people, we will grant a great reward. Right? So, what do you mean, those with solid knowledge? It's a class of people. It's clearly a class of people, right? So let me show you where is where is knowledge at? Let me see. That will be in Surah. What is that? 2, maybe? Hold on, let me show y'all what knowledge is. I thought it was in 2. Wait a minute. $2.13. All right. So let me share my screen with y'all so y'all can see it in real time. All right. Let me come here word to word. What is it? I said 2:13. Wait a minute. Hold on 1 second. What was that at? On this slide. 213, they know. That's what I'm looking for. And 213, they know. Should we believe? And when they believe the people they said, believe, certainly they in themselves are the fools. Here it is right here. They know. Now, knowledge is associated with this word because it represents know, right? But you know what I find really interesting is this right here, worlds. What this say? What say right there? Universe. So when it comes to universe and worlds, which is mentioned quite a few times in the Quran, as you can see, all the time they talk about worlds, it's a lot of times. Alamina, right? The question I then ask is, okay, there's a few things that actually pop up in my mind. You mean to tell me knowledge has the same root word as worlds, universe, right? So should we have a knowledge of the universe? Because every time, a lot of times when you kept talking about knowledge, you kept giving us a reference to the heavens and the earth, night and day, all this stuff, the rain from the sky, all this stuff, right? The other thing is, what do you mean worlds? Why are you keep saying you are the Lord of the worlds, plural? So there's other worlds? Clearly, from the Quran standpoint, absolutely. There are different planes. We can just say shit, dimensions, right? You never seen universe plural, and I don't think universe ever should be plural. Everything exists within the one. So you can have worlds within the universe. Yes. I always like to, show that picture a lot when we was in New Orleans and the ghost was walking, or took a picture like this with no head and stuff. They're clearly in another world, but in our world, on Bourbon Street, walking with a cup in their hand and everything like they drinking. You know what I'm saying? One lady was riding a bike, a ghost bike. You know what I'm saying? So there is different planes of dimensions within the universe, worlds within worlds, right? So the Quran has a knowledge of it. And so what we're supposed to do is really have a universal knowledge. That's why the root word for knowledge means universe and worlds. We're supposed to be knowledgeable about those things. I was having a conversation the other day about, can worlds infringe and intersect upon us? That's the question. Can your world infringe on my world? And I'm of the belief that it can. It does. We see infringements all the time and whatnot. But the Quran simply just wants us to think. So I just wanted to show that real fast, that the book is a profound book that is absolutely, I mean, it flat out called you stupid. like it called you names. It's mocking you. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, you reject this? Then it's you. You are deaf and dumb. And then some places it'll call you blind. You deaf, dumb, and blind. Like, again, bro, how you gonna call me handicapped? You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, we should call people retarded. It's just not nice to do now. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it was never nice, and we was just too young to understand that that's not nice. But you calling me retarded is what you saying. Who does that? You know what I'm saying? Who does that? You know what I'm saying? Black folks. I'm telling you. And so the Quran said, listen, you little retarded niggas, y'all better figure this out. Okay. All right. So that was really it for today, man. Just a quick little introduction on the various times knowledge pops up. But most importantly, I want you to take away that knowledge means universe, and it means worlds, and that's the ultimate knowledge of, what I would call a cosmic knowledge and whatnot. I did want to look up something. It's not relative to this in a sense, but I wanted to look up time, because I don't think I got how many times time is mentioned. I'll be mentioning something to y'all called an abjad. So I'm kind of give you an idea what it looks like though, which is really dope for some. There go my man Khalid. What up, bro? Hey, bro, I'll be looking for you every Friday, bro. I want to give y'all just kind of share what it looks like with this abjad I'm creating, right? Doo doo. So you get a word, you take the Arabic root of that word, then I get its root value because I know how to, add up the what the letters represent, the total times that it appears in the Quran. And then I call this specific total occurrence because the root word for prayer appears 99 times. Ain't that something? That's interesting. The 99 names of Allah. So prayer is mentioned 99 times as the root word, but for the word salat, it's mentioned 83 times. And then I get a definition over here. And then what I need to start doing is put the chapter and verse or where I'm looking at a word specifically at, so I can just have a quick reference sheet. And so for me in my study, what I do is I'll start color coding these things. So if I get a match, fasting equals 14, but Hajj equals 14. So now I need to see if Hajj and fasting is relating. When you make Hajj, do you not fast? You see, you absolutely fast when you make Hajj. And so there's a connection with them as far as how many times one appears and then the numerical value of the other one and whatnot. So you start making a connection on the words, because I'm yet to see an Arabic book that I can just straight go look into, like Godwin's Kabbalistic Encyclopedia. I can go look up the number and the number have everything associated with it, or I can go look up that word and then it'll have numbers, so the number that's associated with it. I haven't seen that in the Islamic standpoint. So your boy making his own. I got about a little over 100 words over here and whatnot. And so there's some interesting connections on stuff. You know what I mean? Like, um, if I find Satan, I know it should be like 359 to prove my point. Satan, his numerical value is 359. And that's interesting because it's like that's you one number away from 360, which is the perfect circle, which is completion. But you the one that fell off. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, boy, you was almost there. You almost got it all, but you fell off. You see what I'm saying? And so that's interesting to me to see if that's, basically purposely composed that way to show you that the nigga got a lot of knowledge, 359, but he's missing one to make it complete. And that's because what his state personifies. You see what I'm saying? And so there's some very interesting connections that I have in here and whatnot, but I'm yet to bring out, which I will eventually and whatnot. But this is what it looks like. For those of you that's really into the study, let me stop sharing and come back. I like to go to Corpus Quran that you see I pull a lot from. I'll go back and share that tab, which is right here, right? So it's corpus.quran.com. And you go word by word, right? And so when you go word by word, as you see me do and whatnot, any word that you just feel like you got an interest in, you know what I'm saying? You click on it, right? And then believe, right? We see all of the times that this root pops up. So believe pops up a whole lot, a whole lot. 879 times the word believe in the various different forms that it pops up in. You see what I'm saying? And so this is how you can start to get your study on. You know what I mean? And get into the inner dimensions. This is basically kind of like this is our Strong's concordance. What the Bible has on the Strong concordance, you know what I'm saying? This is our version of that. All right. So some some profound stuff can really be realized when you go on a journey. All right. All right. So yeah, any questions real fast? Any comments or something? 103. Any comments? Another thing is for me, what I do with them? Where they at? Let me see something. Are they over here? Oh, there we go. I have bought me a nice little. It could have been bigger though. I have bought me a nice little car set, right? And just for me to get my study on and stay connected. They give you like two. You got like the 99 attributes, and then you got like 30 cards for like a daily affirmation, right? So like a pull presence, and then they give you a verse on the other side, and he is with you wherever you are, and give you the where it's at, and then you'll get an attribute which is the incomparable originator. You know, originator is a word, is an attribute for Allah. And I'm like, yo, that's some hip hop stuff. The originator. What do you mean? The originator, the original MC. This is hip hop, right? And so and then of course it gives you a verse that's that's getting in that. So for me, what I'm doing is I'm just taking principles for the day, reflecting on them, and then within that reflection, I may move into the word of what's being talked about and see if I can see it from a different angle. So just a quick little, great little study tool. You know what I mean? Just to keep the mind going, so we can get knowledge. Amazon, yeah, I got that from Amazon. Get Try to get everything from Amazon. But this is what it looks like again. You can put like the 99 name, Islamic affirmation cards. And they got another one that's just for the attributes as well, but this one got both. But yeah, that's where I got it from. Amazon. It wasn't even $20, you know what I'm saying? So nice little study tool that I use. All right, man. We straight? We good? All right, man. Remember, it's a difference between transmitting knowledge. I really can't stress that enough, man, because you know again, remember, you like the whole society says something 33rd degree, and then I'll say it, hey, yeah, 33rd degree, whoop de whoop whoop, Illuminati, and they whoop, whoop, you know what I mean? But then I'm like, yo, wait a minute, hold on. I actually read the 33rd degree. Wait, this ain't what that says. This says we gonna really smash the Catholic Church in the future. And the history of it is the 33rd degree comes 400 years after later, after something happened, a horrible event happened. The Catholic Church with the King of France, Philip the Fair, they traded on a Knights Templar. King Philip he had owed the Knights Templars money. The Knights Templars was like people who wanted to go to the holy sites of Jerusalem and stuff. At the time is under Muslim occupation, so it's a war taking place, holy war. And so the Knights Templars like just escorting people, you know what I'm saying? And I would guess on this, where they getting this money and stuff from. They getting some of this stuff from the people who they defeating. So they got a bag. Philip owes them some money. And so he get with a pope and he's like, listen, we need to exterminate these dudes. I need you to put some pressure on these. And the Pope conforms and said, no doubt, we're gonna put some work in on them. And then they killed the last leader of it. So 400 years later, King Frederick of Persia is like, I ain't feeling that move that they made 400 years prior. I want some clapback. And this is how we gonna do it. Any Mason that get to this particular degree, you got to understand that, when we get in power later, we're gonna go back and we're gonna avenge what they did. And we're gonna rumble the Knights of Malta too, because they got our work. They stole our stuff. So we're going to get that back. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yo, this is wild. And in the same year, I think it's 1738, your boy, when Frederick the Great actually made the 33rd degree, the Catholic Church put a ban on Freemasonry. So this is like some real stuff. This is 400 years later. You know what I'm saying? Clement was like, oh, okay, yeah, that's what you want? Okay, Catholics. Yeah. No Freemasonry for you. We ain't doing that. We enemies. And then the Catholics create their own version of Freemasonry called the Knights of Columbus. You see what I'm saying? So this is real stuff. This whole 33rd degree is going at the Catholic Church, who you say you robbed the Egyptians, you robbed the people. Like you the one that was really, really, really bogus. You was really on some bull crap, historically speaking. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna talk about your spiritual rights. We're just talking about your political moves and whatnot, right? You was really bogus. You know what I mean? And so, but that's not being glorified and talked about in a sense. So I'm saying that to say that, really seek knowledge, really seek some understanding on some things, and study some of these subject matters any subject matter that you're interested in, should really be studying them, and not be so quick to say stuff without necessarily verifying some things based off your own study. You know what I'm saying? Because you can Google right now, Abraham Lincoln, the racist, and that's going to pop up. You know what I'm saying? Because somebody would take a piece of a sentence, they'll take a speech that he said, and he was like, hey, everything I do for the Negro, I do it for the Union. If I can save the Union and not save one Negro, I would do that. And they stop right there, and they be like, see, this dude is a racist. In the very next sentence, he'd be like, and if I can save the Union by freeing all of the Negroes, I will also do that. But they don't read that next sentence. They purposely leave it out. You see what I'm saying? And so it's not sufficient enough just to type in Abraham Lincoln is a racist. If you really want to know, go read the Lincoln Douglas debates and get rid of your ADD and sit down and see and start reading words, first-hand sources. This is what he said. This ain't what somebody said he said. This is the debates that's recorded in 1858. And you will see what his position is. It's clear. You see what I'm saying? And so, that's how we really get to the scholarship aspects of things, man. You know what I'm saying? Anything else is just opinions. You know what I mean? So anyway, yeah, I'm about to get up out of here, man. I'm gonna go make Juma, go do my Friday thing and whatnot, man. So I will see y'all later. I might do a pop-up tomorrow, maybe. So stay on standby, and I'll get with y'all soon. All right. Peace.